I was excited. A weekend camping trip with my closest friends. What could possibly go wrong? We arrived in the forest as the sun began to set, and we set up camp near a clearing. The night was calm, almost too calm. The sound of the wind in the trees was soothing, and the crackle of the campfire added a sense of warmth to the chilly air. But as the hours passed, something started to feel off. The usual sounds of the night were missing. The chirping of crickets, the rustling of leaves, everything was eerily quiet. I tried to brush it off. Maybe it was just my imagination. Then around midnight I saw it, a figure moving in the trees. At first I thought it was just one of my friends messing around, but then I saw another figure, moving slowly, almost deliberately. They were too far in the shadows for me to see clearly, but I could tell they weren't human. The way they moved so effortlessly, like they were part of the darkness itself. I tried to stay calm, but my heart was racing. I told my friends to stay quiet. We had to be careful. The figures seemed to be watching us, circling the camp. Every time I looked away, I swore I could hear faint whispers, like someone was calling my name from the dark. I couldn't make out the words, but the tone, it chilled me to the bone. My friend Adam, the outdoorsman of the group, was visibly shaken. He started packing up the gear, urging us to leave. We all agreed this was no longer a fun camping trip. It felt like we were being hunted. We stumbled through the woods, desperate to find our way back to the car. The figures moved closer, staying just out of sight. The woods seemed endless. Every rustling in the bushes made us jump. Every snap of a twig made our hearts race. Finally, we reached a small abandoned campsite. It looked as if someone had packed up in a hurry. Items left behind, untouched. It felt wrong. And that's when we saw one of the figures standing near the fire pit. This time, it wasn't just a shadow. I could see the outline of a figure, but its face was obscured. I remember hearing a voice, low and raspy. "You can't leave. You never leave." That was the moment I knew something supernatural was at play. We bolted from the campsite, running as fast as we could. It felt like the forest was closing in on us, but somehow we managed to find our way out. Finally, we reached the forest's edge. The car was in sight, just a few more steps. The figures stopped just within the shadows, watching. Their forms seemed to blend into the darkness, standing motionless as if bound to the trees themselves. We collapsed near the car, breathing heavily. The sense of relief was overwhelming, but a lingering terror held its grip on us. To this day, I don't know what those figures were or why they were watching us. But every time I go near that forest, I can't shake the feeling that something is still out there, waiting.